Good morning. This is Frank. It is the top of the hour at 11 a.m. It is time for Underwriters in Training, and I'm going to be your host today. We did have a guest speaker earlier this morning in the pre-log, and we had a great conversation with Larry Potts, one of our more active agents, and he's submitted 30 deals. He's got 30 more to go. So we're looking forward to working with him. By way of introduction, I want to say that we are Easy Financial Group, LLC. We are a group of highly motivated professionals, and that's why we invited you. The structure of our company is member office, that's my office, underwriter, that's you, pro agent, well, that's you also, but you may not be completely aware of that. We'll go into that later, and you'll see why you would want to be a pro agent and an underwriter in just a few minutes. And also standard agents. That's the structure of the company. The standard agent earns a 10% commission. A pro agent earns 50% more. But the pro agent also has the ability to have a team with overrides, many more perks on top of that as well. But because they have a team, they can earn overrides on all of the people that they have in their team. So being an underwriter doesn't mean just being an underwriter. It means a whole lot more. So I'm issuing an invitation to everyone to step up to pro agent. Our expectations are high. We expect you to do whatever it takes to drag each and every deal over the finish line. There are no butterflies. The deals don't float over the finish line. They have to be dragged over the finish lines, sometimes kicking and screaming. You have to realize this, and you cannot take it lightly, because people's incomes, people's futures, people's homes depend upon us dragging these deals over the finish line each and every time. We expect you to encourage all those who are below your pay grade, as well as those who are above. The people above need encouragement as well. We expect you to put in a full day's work within reason. Some guys like me used to work 12 to 18 hours a day. Now that I'm past 70, I only work about 10 hours a day. So you can work less than that. You can work more than that. I just want it to be within reason for you. We expect you to ask questions. We expect you to ask questions and strategize if you don't have the answer. If there's anything that you don't know, please contact me. Well, please first look in the book. I'm going to be sending everyone a 4.4C manual, and I'm going to be sending you the sheets that we'll be talking about here in a few minutes. Please refer to the manual, and if it's not in the manual, contact me, and we will discuss it. We'll figure it out. We expect you to have a basic understanding of computers. I spend an awful lot of time teaching people how to load Skype, or how to load Zoom, or how to copy and paste. I don't have time for that. You can get a third grader to help you with all of those things. I don't have time. We also expect you to have both Skype and Zoom already loaded on your computer. We expect you to work closely with your standard and pro agents at least once a week. If you haven't spoken to one of your agents, that agent thinks you don't love them anymore. That agent might, wander off and don't do anything anymore because they're not getting any attention. He or she, they're not getting attention. You need to reach out and touch your agents. You need to let them know that you care about them. You need to let them know that you want them to make money. I heard earlier this morning that when an agent and when an underwriter both are working, they both make some money, and so does Easy Financial. We'll get to make a nickel or two. We expect you to contact every lead at least 8 to 10 times. My biggest complaint from the field are people coming in saying to me, I go in my back office, Frank, and I see a first attempt or I see second attempt, but I don't see anything other than that. These people are going to our agents because they need money. They're in the business of buying, fixing, and flipping houses, or they're in other businesses, and they need money. We need to touch them as many times as we can. I like to call them 8 to 10 times. I like to email them 8 to 10 times, and I like to text them 8 to 10 times. If you use that combination, call, email, and text, you're going to get these people until they might get them to say, will you please quit calling me? And at that point, you say, okay, sure, no problem, but can I keep you in my database and check on you from time to time? Yeah. I mean, they either got to buy or die. I heard that comment this morning. I used to use it all the time. They're going to buy or die, one or the other. But you need to touch the agents are working hard. They're getting out there and doing what we're asking them to do. As underwriters, you need to do your job, and you need to drag those deals across the finish line. The only way you're going to do it is to connect with those deals. We expect you to encourage your agents to go to RIA groups and to go to real estate agents, realtors, real estate brokers, and RIA, real estate, oh, I forget, RIA board meetings, real estate board meetings. They have those meetings between 1 to 2 times a quarter and sometimes monthly. The real estate board meetings, they're usually in the local area, and they usually have literally hundreds of real estate agents there. If you simply go there and you pass out your flyers, as we discussed on one of the other presentations, if you pass out your flyers at a real estate board meeting, you will have more deals than you can possibly stand. I'm going to have Larry tell us what some of the things that he's doing, because he's put in 30 leads and he's got 30 more to go. So I'm going to ask him what he does for leads in a moment. Okay, so I'm going to ask everyone to step up to pro agent. You get 50% more commission. You get 50% override on your agents. So if a standard agent's commission was $1,000, the pro agent's commission on the very same deal, exact same deal, is $1,500. Standard agent's commission is $1,000. The pro agent's override is $500. So if the standard agent's was $1,000 a week, because he did one deal a week, and you had 10 agents times 10, he would get $10,000 a week. The pro agent's override would be $5,000 a week. Guys, $5,000 a week is pretty good money. Okay, we're going to help you build your team. There's no limit to the number of agents you can have. You also get a sponsored agent statistics, you get sponsored agents networking, and you get a dedicated domain, even though we like to promote Easy Financial so that it's a well-recognized brand nationwide. You get exclusive business card templates. You have customized email. We have recruiting email templates. We have exclusive recruiting webinars. We have exclusive recruiting training manuals as well. Recruiting presentation templates. We have expanded product line, and we have advanced training. And for those people who are pro agents, I will have a professional Skype presentation to your local RIA group, live streamed over Skype right into the group that's having the meeting. And it can be a RIA group or any large group of real estate investors or real estate agents. Pro agent requirement is pretty easy. Must first be a freestanding agent. Must complete the real estate masterclass. Congratulations, Gail. She did it in one weekend. Wasn't very hard, she said. must submit at least 3 deals. Pro agent's requirement must complete and fund at least 1 deal and must enroll at least 1 standard agent. Well, the good news is that everyone who's on the call today, we have waived all of those requirements. Poof, you are all pro agents. Congratulations. You now have all of those benefits that everybody that I just went through. You've got all of those benefits without the requirements. I do require one thing. Work it. That's what I require. Work it. Take advantage of what I've given you. All right, now we're going to talk about the, I don't know if I should jump into Larry. Larry, did you want, yeah, Larry, before I go into that, Larry, if you're, I need to unmute you. Oh, I need to unmute you, Larry. I'm going to see, yeah, oh, you are unmuted. Okay, Larry, would you like to share with us some of the ways that you are getting all of these leads that you've been talking about?
No problem. My wife's the one that generates them. I just help her, give her directions of where to advertise at. We pull it from local papers. We pull it from RIA meetings. We pull it, if anybody I talk to, they know what I do. And I've got a real simple sales pitch to them. I say, I sell money. You need some. That always gets people's attention.
I guess so.
Talk to them the specifics. And because anybody that's in business, that's been in business, know that you're forever needing extra money to expand, to cover short-term costs. So generating leads are not that bad. There are people out, and particularly now, as many TV shows that show fix and flip and all that kind of stuff, they leave out the one thing, and that is how these people get the money to do it. And all you've got to do is tell them we're the magic part of that.
Well, I want to add this to it. For years, I've been following Tham Merrill around. That's a guy on A&E TV, Flip This House. And he has seminars. He has seminars in major cities. And if you happen to hear that his group is coming to town, you need to be there. You absolutely need to be there. I used to follow him around, and he would go and he'd get $20,000 from some of the students. They start off at like $2,000 or $3,000, and they go up to another bigger package, $8,000, $10,000. Then he goes to the biggest package, $22,000. But what he doesn't tell them is what Larry just said. Where do you get the money? He says, no money down, no credit, no job. It's okay. We can fund you. Really? So I'm going to, please forgive me, Tham, if you listen to this. I take that lie and I turn it into the truth, just like Larry said. What we do is we're the folks that those people come to in order to get that money. We're those people that they come to. And the no credit, the no money down and all of that stuff, those are the programs that we specialize in. So that was great. Want to have anything else to say before I move on, Larry?
One last thing that I'm seeing, and I guess I need the input from the underwriters, but I've focused my market on larger markets. I'm in Hollywood, I'm in New York, I'm in all these areas where the housing prices are astronomical. We can do a deal in Georgia for a $120,000 house, fix and flip, and make money. But my leads in Hollywood, I've got one person that's wanting to buy a $3.5 million house, put $500,000 in it, and he's got buyer at $6 million. Being on commission and being on percentage, it only makes sense to go to the bigger markets. I'm not ignoring the little ones. We'll work with anybody, but there's money to be made out there, and we need to work it. Frank, you've heard me say it before. It's not rocket science. You get a lead, you ask them what they need. Honestly, you work with them. People are going to tell you what they need. They're going to tell you all their warts and everything. And an underwriter, if they'll listen and keep good notes on it, something will come in their mind that they might not normally just as a cookie cutter, they can put a deal together. And so, get the person and find out what that person needs, what that goal is, how they do it, and how we can help them. Because as soon as they know that we're there trying to help them get the money so they can be successful, it's a great business. So I'll leave that alone, Frank. I get fired up about it. There's just so much out there that people need money to do the deals.
I'm gonna have you on again, Larry, and we're gonna have maybe a half hour just me interviewing you and you coming back, because you got a wealth of knowledge because you've got so much experience. But I have a real quick story. Be careful about whale hunting. Be careful about whale hunting. It's okay to hunt the whales, but make sure you have a few minnows to feed the family while you're waiting to land that whale. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I agree, Larry. If we're commissioned salespeople and we get a commission on the deal, it's better to get a bigger deal than it is to get a smaller deal. But the people have to learn to crawl, then walk, then run with the leaders like you. Okay, well, thank you, Larry. We're going to have you on again. I want to get right into the program. We only have about 10 minutes left, so I want to really fly through this. This is the sheets that I'm going to be sending out to everyone. And the first thing we're going to talk about is the Unsecured Business Financing, or UBF. That is our Unsecured Business Funding Program. It is also our pre-qualification program. Every single person that you talk to in a real estate group, in a real estate agency, any person you talk to, you want to put them in the back office. You want to log them into input leads. You want to click the unsecured button, because everyone is going to go for the unsecured business funding first. That's their pre-qual. Pre, meaning before they buy a house. We want to give them $75,000, anywhere from $20,000 to $100,000. My average is $75,000. We want to get them pre-qualified. Have I stressed the word pre? Don't come to me, Frank, I got to get funded. I'm going to lose my deposit. That's not pre-qualified. I want you guys to get pre-qualified. What do you need? You need anywhere from a 650 to a 680 or above FICO. You can have a credit partner. They are permitted. You can have, if you don't have a 680 and you know someone that you can borrow their FICO score, caution, I did not say cosign. Cosigners are scared to death. We're not cosigning. We're borrowing your FICO. Okay, you can borrow a credit partner's 680 and above FICO, and that is permitted. There's no collateral needed, no income documentation needed, no financials needed, no age requirements of the business. You can be a brand new startup. You may not even started the business yet. You may have just attended one of Sam Merrill's meetings and you want to eventually go into business. Well, this is for you, because you can get up to $75,000 to $100,000 funded before you go into business. Again, we start at $20,000, we go up to $100,000 or more is our funding range. And it is business credit cards. Now, we don't really beat this one too loud, because a lot of people have a negative view of this because they don't understand. It's very important that they have these, but they don't understand. But we have to educate them. So it is business credit cards. It's revolving. It is not a loan. People like to think that they're going to get a loan, cash in their hand, and go squander it whatever way they want to. That's not what's going to happen. And I don't hide it, but I don't push it out there. Credit does not appear under the person, but on the business. Now, this is vitally important, because if we do have a credit partner, it's not going to be on the credit partner. It's actually going to be on the business. What do they need? They need a credit report within 30 days, and they can use, I like Credit IQ. You could have Credit Karma, annualcreditreport.com, creditchecktotal.com. Any of those would work. Okay, unsecured personal funding, UPF. These are for individuals who don't have enough depth of history to do a business funding. And this is FICO driven. They need to have 680 or above. The credit appears under the person and the business profile. So this is a difference between the UPF and the UBF. Okay, the promotional rates are from 0%. It's 0% for 12 to 21 months. And it's anywhere from $15,000 to $50,000. Again, we need a most current credit report, and you can get that from Credit IQ, Credit Karma, creditchecktotal.com, any of those guys. Okay, the last one is the personal term loan, or PTL, personal term loan. This is for individuals. This is for not for the business, but this is for the individual, and they are a W-2 employee, and they make anywhere from 40 to 60K. It is FICO driven. They need to have a 650, 680 or above. The term is anywhere from 3 to 5 to 7 years, and the rates are anywhere from 7.9 to 19.9. They can instantly get $15,000 to $100,000 deposited into their bank account in 2 days. Did you hear that? This is cash deposited directly into their bank account from $15,000 to $100,000 in 2 or 3 days. There is no restriction of the use of the funds, and the cash is in the bank for their use immediately, and it is a fast 7 to 10 days under normal circumstances. What do they need? A credit report within the last 30 days, and all of the same people, they need a credit report within the last 30 days. They need the last 2 pay stubs. They need a copy of their driver's license. They need a copy of their utility bill, and there's an agreement that they must sign. And that's basically it. That is and this is the fastest way to a paycheck for us, by the way. We can get our commissions on this the week after they get their money. So this is really fast. Okay, flying along because the time is not my friend this morning. Oh, we started 10 minutes late, that's why. Equipment finance is EF. I think I'm going to blow through this one because we don't do a whole lot of equipment financing. You'll see it on the sheet that I send you, but it's good for office equipment, medical, communications, restaurant, industrial, automotive. It's good to preserve working capital, and it goes hand in hand with the UBF. Everything goes with the UBF. Like Andy Griffin says, everything's better when it sits on a Ritz. Well, everything's better when it sits on a UBF. And the BDRA, we're going to talk about that in a minute. And it's good for startups. You can get $75,000 right off the bat. Equipment finance is a 1-page application, a credit report, questions of the equipment wanted, a quotation of the equipment wanted. And if there's an existing business of 75,000 plus, that's all you need. But if you go over 75, you will need full financials. SBA is a small business, it's a BTL, business term loan. It's underwritten by the SBA, Small Business Administration, and it is a 6%. It's a low interest rate. It's for larger amounts, larger than $150,000. However, you need 8 to 12 weeks to process it. If you're in a hurry to get the money, this is not a loan for you. 8 to 12 weeks, easy, and it could go 6 months. It's good for 10 years or longer, but the 8 to 12 weeks is what kills it for us because people want their money quicker than that. The business term loan, you do need the universal application, credit report, 3 years of personal tax returns, current year's profit and loss balance sheets, 3 years of business bank statements, and 6 months of business bank statements. You see that it's not an easy thing to qualify for. Revenue base, on the other hand, is for somebody that has a low FICO of 500 or below, alternative funding program, sometimes no collateral at all. So you can get an RBA loan with no collateral. With no collateral. Industry driven, like medical services, retail are the best. You get up to 100% of gross monthly sales, not just the credit card sales, but the gross monthly sales, up to 100% of what you make in a month. You can request that, and need to be doing 15,000 monthly in revenues, and the fast processing is like 3 to 5 days. It's a one-page application. We need the last 4 months of business bank statements, the last 4 months of credit card processing, and a copy of the driver's license and a voided check. Pretty easy. BDRA is Business Directed Retirement Account. This you can get with no FICO. Actually, you are the bank. If you have $50,000 or more in a 401k or an IRA, you can be the bank. No credit or banking involvement at all. You are the bank, and we're going to teach you how to do this without penalty, interest, or taxes paid to the IRS. That's the important one. No penalty, no interest, no taxes paid to the IRS to use your own money to run your own business. We'll get into that at a later date. Again, there's no FICO required. You can be your own bank. You can fund your own. And we teach you how to do it. It's very simple for us to do. Don't try this at home. You will get burnt. We have to, it's got to be done correctly, but you will face those penalties, interest, and taxes. And when the IRS comes a knocking, you don't want to answer the door. All right. Commercial real estate and CRE. I should be out of time by now. I'm shocked that they're still letting me go. All right. Commercial real estate, alternative funding program. In some cases, no FICO. This deals with residential and commercial properties. Get up to 65% LTV on residentials and 55% on commercial. Truly asset driven, and credit is not a disqualifier. We do look at the credit, but it won't disqualify you. It can go fast, as fast as 10 days, no restrictions of use on the funds, and the terms are from 1 to 3 years. Rates are anywhere from 11 to 15%. I'm seeing around 12, 12.5%, 13% in there. Featured programs. We have exclusive programs coming up right now. We've got 125% buy, fix, and flip. We've got our 100% CLTV. We have a 36-month lease option program. We have a 30-year fixed rental portfolio program. We have cash out refinance, auction quick cash back, and all of these programs are available right now. You know, I am utterly shocked